I say, how do you do, old beans? It would seem that you've stumbled upon another video of mine. This will be a new series going up alongside Binding of Isaac, the Fablecraft series. And those are my only two series right now. This is a game by the name of 80 Days. I know barely anything about it, but only that it is now in London of 1872. And yes, I will be using this terrible accent for the entire video, and maybe the entire series. Who knows? We shall see. It would seem he is a gambling man. Oh, I missed a line. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman. It would seem he is a gambling man. Inkle presents, in association with Cape Guy. Directed by John Ingold and Joseph Humphrey. Script by Meg Janath. Janath? PC and Mac edition by Ben Nicholson. Jaum illustration. That word. 80 Days. Based on the novel by Jules Verne. London. Settings. Take us. Alright. Let's just, do we have... Alright, this is all looking very good. Let's turn this down just a tad. Alright, London. Begin. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club, and in a newfangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. "Passport out," he said. "Where we go? We are going around the world." "Very good, monsieur," I murmured dutifully, not believing a word of it. "We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. "We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour." "But of course," I answered, still extremely suspicious. He nodded. "Good luck, and an altimeter and my evening jacket. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There is not a moment to waste." "You, passport out. Now have funds. Your character is now dependable." New routes discovered. "Quickly, passport out. Collect our things and we will be off." There was just a moment to seize anything further that I thought might be useful for our long trip. Yes. And a timetable. Can I fit anything else in here? No. Well then, let's be off. Our completed Englishman's wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeys. Oh my lord, look at all the routes I've discovered. Holy hell. I mean, poppycock, balderdash, all that good fun. Let us depart and embark to Paris. The Amphitrite? Sure, we'll go with that. Express to Paris. Departing now. The guard's van has space for one suitcase, which will suffice. Let's go. We have 4,000 euros to our name. Good sweet God, I hope this can go faster. The mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing Cross Station. We raced along the concourse and threw ourselves overboard. We have no tickets. I exclaimed in horror. That does not signify. Monsieur Fogg remarked over his shoulder as he hurried toward the platform. We must not miss this train. I rushed after him, and we leapt aboard just as another train whistle pierced the air. A guard raised his thick brows at us as we settled into a nearby compartment. He held out a hand. Tickets, please. Alas, monsieur, we were in a great hurry, I explained, giving him a beseeching look. We do not have time to buy tickets. You may purchase them from me, the guard was saying. Though it is more expensive, I'm afraid. £80, please. I handed over the £85 and smiled a thin smile. From one working man to another, the guard gave me our tickets and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. I am on fine form, but we must make haste. If I could make it go any faster, I would. I am at your service, Monsieur Fogg. The journey. But tell me, Monsieur, what is the purpose of our journey? I have made a hefty wager, and do not intend to lose. This journey will be most expensive, Monsieur. Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel. Very good. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags, thrown together in haste and confusion, as afternoon turned inexorably to evening as I had a slight tickle in my throat. I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door a few miles before Dover. We were about to submerge, he warned. Takes some people a bit funny, so watch out. What do you mean submerge? I cried. This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express, he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. The submersible train? Talk of all the London papers. Then this is the Mer train? I exclaimed. He made a face. Bloody journalists and their silly names, he muttered. Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world's only bath-escape locomotive. I pressed my face to the window glass as the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Your relationship with Fogg has strengthened slightly, or canal, whichever you prefer, but I'm going to say channel. Wednesday. The Amphitrite. Yes, I did say that correctly. Ho-ho! Plowed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as dawn broke. Do you have a route in mind, monsieur? I asked as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. I am as yet undecided, my master admitted. The new canal has sped up the shipping route from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia. Surely not Bombay, I exclaimed. We shall certainly wilt in the scorching heat. Then we would do well to buy hats and linen trousers, he replied. There are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian Seas. But which is fastest? I believe, he said, that is what we shall put to the test. Parbleu, I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived at Paris, Gare du Nord, just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart. I was home, but not to stay. New routes discovered. Wonderful. What's in our luggage? All right. Moscow. Jesus Christ. That is quite the journey. Some of our possessions will fetch a few pounds here. Oh my, time is traveling quickly. Let's see. Oh my god, I bought another suitcase. Well, that was my mistake. Let's see. A shaving kit, a travel cloak, and, that should be good. Alright. What do we have at the bank? We must visit the bank, Monsieur Fogg declared. A robbery, monsieur? Certainly not, he replied firmly. But do you suppose I put my entire fortune into a carpet bag under your supervision? I did not answer. I regarded. The bank as we entered, it was a place of stone and shimmering marble floors, with beautiful windows, fountains, and plants. You wish to withdraw funds, we were told? I warn you, it may take some time. We require £3,000, I said. The manager drew a sharp breath. I will have to communicate with London. First, of course. He apologized. I should have a reply in 3 working days. It seems, Monsieur Fogg remarked as we left, we have some time to dispose of. Return to the bank on Monday to collect your funds. Oh shit, I have to come back here? Son of a bitch. We'll pass the night here. We took a comfortable hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied, the short answer indicating, I think, that one day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing and could allow for more connections. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. Click the clock to skip an hour if you're waiting for the market or bank to open. Can we not depart? Oh, good God. Well, let's be... I guess we shall explore. Fair enough. We had a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and you should learn anything of note. Be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only. An enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars, and containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. But I was certain Monsieur Fogg did not intend for me to visit fairs, so I enjoyed a brief cup of coffee, and then returned to my master, armed with some options for the next leg of our journey. Shit. I should have just said tomorrow, shouldn't have I? Fuck it, let's go. What if... 2 players... Oh, yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. Guys. We get to see how we're doing against other players, as right now you can see 2 are taking a train down to Nice. Departs tomorrow. The traveling cloak from our gentleman travel set should spur them on. Alright, let's do it. The overhead rack has space for one suitcase, but we have two. Oh god. Higher space in the guard's van. Sure. Oh wait, I didn't want... Why did I start heading to Munich? Well, we're going there now. Boarding the Orient Express was an altogether calmer affair than our race through London had been. Mechanical porters loaded us in through the windows, then snapped them shut with a delicate click. The train was very beautiful, a jewel of both European design and European diplomacy, with the that word International de Wagon, lit having persuaded several envious empires to be linked together by the train line. It was one of many modern developments that had led to Monsieur Fogg's wager. Of course, and so it was no coincidence that we should be aboard. At long last, whistle blew, and we began our journey east. Greetings, monsieur. Can I help you at all, Can I help you at all, monsieur? I'm the guard on this train. I am sure you know all about Munich. Munich is doing well these days, I hear. Is there a route from Munich to Prague? Look here, some buyers will pay well for geometric equipment from Prague. Now tell me, have you been to Bordeaux? My apologies, I have not. Ah, a shame. I wanted to ask if it was a nice spot for a honeymoon. Is it possible to go from Munich to Venice? Here's something I do know. They say the whole city is a ship. Is it possible to travel from Munich to Dubrovnik? Let's just say that some buyers will pay well for woolen cloaks from Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik. Said it properly that time. My master wished to be undisturbed, so as we left Paris, I left him and went to explore the train. There was a delightful dining car and an observation deck formed by the replacement of an entire compartment with an open glass tube. I stopped there, watching the scenery flash past, and as I stood, a portly gentleman with a quivering, luxuriant mustache struggled by carrying several trunks. I offered him my aid, and he introduced himself after a shower of thanks. Henry de Blauwitz, foreign correspondent of The Times. I introduced myself in return. My name is Passepartout. I'm gonna have to come up with a new name. My name is Gerald, and my master and I are going around the world. Then I wish you luck, he replied. He patted his breast pocket. The stories you hear, it seems everywhere, is on the brink of one revolution or another. Everywhere there is progress, but who will count the cost? That sounds most ominous, I told him. Does it? He replied with a beaming smile. Well, I'm a journalist. It's my duty to make omens. Good day to you. With that, he clapped me on the shoulder and headed off in the direction of the dining car. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who, to my surprise, looked up from his paper at me. What did you learn? He inquired. I told him of the observation car, but he showed no interest in its design or function. He was, however, interested in de Blauwitz. Could he tell you much of the journey ahead? He asked. Every detail may be important to us. I told him I would find out what I could in the future. Either way, there was no more to be done that night. We arrived in Munich a few hours later. The traveling cloak should be quite valuable here. It'll be a rotten night if you don't find a hotel soon. Ew. Looks like we'll be sleeping with the rats tonight. Oh God. The hotel was too expensive. We had another 3 days to wait for our transfer of funds. Oh God, what have I done? That's not what I meant to do. Well now, this journey is proving more tiring than I expected. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sleep a whole day out in the streets, but it seems that time had slipped away from us. Let's see. I suppose we can get rid of the shaving kit and place this here. Alright, that should be good enough. To Warsaw. Alright then, let's explore. There was little daylight in Munich. The sky was shrouded in steam and oil fumes from the tractors and hydraulic excavators in the street. A place of industry, then, whose citizens wore dark cloaks to protect their finery from the soot. I brushed a few specks of dirt from my collar. Absent-mindedly, far more intrigued by the gleaming machines remaking the city's skyline. The city was well connected enough. Good roads sent drivers and steam cars in all directions. The drivers we spoke to promised fast, efficient trips without incident or delay. Berlin in a day, Venice, definitely. In a day, one remarked, and we always make it back home for our beer. Rumor had it that this work was the doing of the Bavarian king. But the spectacle was more interesting to me than the patronage. What does it matter who makes the machines when the machines themselves are so wondrous? Must we look for the creator's hand behind every gleaming marvel? I shared the thought with Monsieur Fogg, who raised an eyebrow. All machines eventually go wrong, and then it is imperative that we know how to fix them. I felt altogether chastened. I'm not sure I'm entirely suited to the business of being a valet. Where should we head off to? Let's head up to Warsaw. Oh no, depart. My goodness. It would seem our train is heading this way into Berlin. By carriage. Ew. Let's head this way. A Bozek car. Oh. Well, I don't know if that's quite what I had in mind. For inexplicable reasons, there was no way to reboard the Orient Express at Munich, something strange to do with customs laws, though. I understand it was actually retribution for unpaid fees. It seemed the Express charged countries for the privilege of being connected rather than the other way around. We ended up cramming ourselves into a steam-powered car instead and shuffling along. A shaped mustache. Excellent. It was a pleasant enough ride, and our driver, one Michael Hertz, regaled us with stories of his time on the Indian subcontinent, and seemed he had been employed to haul that word along the Grand Trunk Road connecting Kabul and Agra. Before Agra wandered away, he finished cryptically. I demanded to know what he meant, but he merely grinned mysteriously and said, "Ah, the tales I could tell." As we arrived, the driver put out his hand to shake. I will be driving on to Budapest soon if you want. Holy hell. Jesus. No, I believe we will be okay in that matter. Alright. Now, let's get a good night's sleep here. We found a room in the newly opened Hotel Imperial and a suite built for the Duke Philip of that German word's maidservant. The view along the blank was impressive, and as I looked I saw lines and lines of mechanical soldiers marching along the road. At the rear marched a group of musicians who played the strangest tune, all discord in a tonality, a cruel and sour sound. I closed the shutters to block the sound of the music and pulled down the blind. Monsieur Fogg seemed quite untroubled by it all, but I think, however, he does not relish the idea of bloodless armies. There is no gallantry in a clockwork war. Well, ain't that the fucking truth? Anyways, my dear fellows and viewers of all ages and genders, that's been this first episode of 80 Days. We are currently, I should pause. We are currently on, currently on day 8. Tuesday, in fact. And, well, we are a little bit behind schedule and slightly tired as to the bumpy car ride. I feel that we're still on track and we may make it around the entire world in just 80 days. I hope to see you all in the next episode. And if you enjoyed, please leave a like to show your support for Monsieur Fogg and his journey around the world. If you didn't, well, don't do anything. We need all the publicity we can get. I also need English lessons. Farewell, all you ladies and gentle beings.